Casper, you've been bootcamping in Parken for the last week. You're going to Cologne on Sunday. What are your expectations at Cologne?
My expectations is that we at least advance from the Swiss format, and whenever there is like a pre-playoff format like Swiss, it's always difficult to tell what kind of opponents you'll meet throughout the format. So the first goal will be to advance to the playoffs, and from the playoffs anything can happen. Also, if you have a rough group stage in the Swiss format, you can potentially meet one of the best teams in the quarterfinals. So the first thing will be to advance in the first place. So anything can happen from that point on.
You're touching on it yourself. You don't know who you're going to face down the road in the Swiss format. You only know your first opponent, which is going to be OpTic. So how do you feel that your chances are going up against OpTic?
I see us as clear favorites. We have played them, I think, twice in an opener as well. And both times it has been a very narrow win, but it has been a win in the end. And they have had troubles like keeping a stable five and have players like testing it out every once in a while. So they can't seem to find that common ground at the moment. And I think that's to our advantage as well. So I see us as 60-40, maybe even 65-35 favorites.
How are you working to prepare the team for unknown opponents in the Swiss format?
I think it has it's different things. The first thing is that you have a very deep playbook that you can adapt to no matter what the situation. Sometimes it's rougher against like very solid CT sides, like G2 for instance has. They're harder to break up whenever they get the momentum going. So against a team like that is like try to adapt as fast as possible so they don't get the upper hand. But on the other hand, they're also like, as we saw in Sydney, we didn't have the info about what they would like to run as T on Nuke, and I think having the help from Ave, we have like tried to develop a preparation phase for every team that will attend the event, so that we won't run into a similar situation as in Sydney, where we are unprepared for like certain executes. So we are trying to get a rough picture of what every team likes to run, but besides that, it's hard because you never know until a few hours before the match who you're going to play.
Do you think it's an advantage for the teams that are currently at the major qualification like G2 that they're playing, in Bucharest this weekend and then they're going directly to Cologne, or do you think that teams that have been there will be easier to deconstruct and sort of anti-strat?
I think for G2, I think they're pretty safe because they rely a lot on individual skills. So they don't run certain executes that needs a lot of practice and the opponent has to not know before executing. They are very good at adapting because they have their individual skills. So I think for any other team than G2, I think they are at a clear disadvantage. But that's how it is. If you're in the big tournaments, that's one of the downsides about it.